Dear students, this is second part of life cycle of Vaucheria. Now we'll just proceed from sexual reproduction. Finished with the asexual reproduction, now we'll start with the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Most of the species of Vaucheria are monoecious except for a few which are dioecious. Sexual reproduction is oogamous. The male sex organ is called the antheridium and the female the oogonium. The position of the antheridia and oogonia in the monoecious forms generally occur closer to each other. The sex organs are formed on the filament in bunches or on spatial branches. In a majority of these cases, the antheridium is terminal and the oogonia are formed below and lateral to it. So it is dioecious sex organs. The male sex organ is called antheridium and the female the oogonium. And you can see here, see antheridium, how does it look like and how is it liberating the anthrozoids. Septation, you can see here, it's well marked septation, and the nuclei which are haploid as such, they all just are eggs now, and it has got a receptive spot here. The oogonium has got a beak-like structure which just creates mucilage, and the anthrozoids are also liberated in the mucilage only, and here again it opens up here from the apex only. They are liberated into the water where they swim in water and look for the oogonium. If it is nearby, generally in monoecious species, both the two sex organs are borne by the same thallus, so they are close to each other, and the antheridium liberates the anthrozoids. Anthrozoids are formed, they are liberated into the water, they are biflagellate, and due to difference in the time of maturation, cross-fertilization occurs. And the oogonium is there, so it is xenocytic, there are many nuclei. And it is said that all others degenerate or they just become non-functional, and only one behaves as the female or egg, and it remains inside the oogonium. This, this oogonium is surrounded by lot many anthrozoids which have been liberated by the antheridia, and only one penetrates the oogonium at the receptive spot. The nucleus of the anthrozoid increases in size, unites with the female nucleus when both are of the same size. This results in the formation of a zygote and diploid zygote. Zygote, as such formed, is diploid. It germinates on the return of the favorable season. The diploid nucleus of the zygote undergoes a reduction division, meiosis, but natural, to form 4 haploid nuclei, and they multiply and form a number of haploid nuclei. The germ tubes are produced, the first one develops into a rhizoid, and the rest form the thallus. Alteration of generation or life cycle. Let us see the graphic life cycle of Vaucheria. Vaucheria reproduces by all the 3 methods: vegetative, fragmentation, asexual by asexual spores, and sexual reproduction, which is oogamous. Now, asexual spores include synzoospores, also called cenozoospore or simply zoospore, which is haploid. It germinates to give rise to new thallus. Aplanospores, interstitial species, which germinates, thin-walled, which germinates to give rise to new thallus, and also echinates, which are thick-walled to tide over the unfavorable conditions, which germinate as soon as the favorable conditions come back, and they germinate to give rise to new thalli. Also hypnospores, which are also thick-walled spores, and when the hypnospore formation takes place, the thallus gets segmented and it resembles another alga, Gongrosyra. That's why this stage is also called Gongrosyra stage. Sexual reproduction, it is oogamous type. Oogonium is the female sex organ and antheridium is the male sex organ. Oogonium produces egg because it is xenocytic, not multinucleate. That means not many nuclei are there. Only one remains functional. Others degenerate, and this is the egg proper, which is haploid. Antheridium produces lot many anthrozoids and biflagellate anthrozoids, which are liberated into the water. They swim about in water. They are haploid. They just come close to the oogonium near the beak. Beak is hyaline, and it is also known as the receptive spot. Here the reception of the anthrozoid takes place. Not many anthrozoids surround it, and only one fuses with the female. The nucleus of the anthrozoid, that is the male gamete, moves into the oogonium. But it first increases in size. The moment it reaches the size of the egg, then only it fuses with it to give rise to a diploid zygote. Zygote only is the sporophytic generation or diploid generation in case of Vaucheria. It soon undergoes meiosis, and as a result of meiosis, haploid chromosome complement level is again regained, and it multiplies mitotically, giving rise to lot many nuclei, and the zygote germinates to give rise to a new thallus, which is again haploid. This way the life cycle goes on. Since for maximum period of time in the life cycle is represented by the gametophytic phase, that's why this type of life cycle is called haplontic type of life cycle. Sporophytic generation only is represented by the zygote only, and that too it is short-lived. It undergoes meiosis immediately and giving rise to the new thallus. So the life cycle of Vaucheria is completed. In the end, a big thank you to all my students. Please like it, share it, and subscribe it. Thank you.